Good afternoon and welcome you all to this teleconferencing session. In this session, we shall discuss about BNS 110, that is Nursing Administration and Management. We shall focus on Block 2, that is Organization of Nursing Services and Education. In this session, we shall be taking two units. The Unit 1, that is on Planning and Organization of Nursing Services, and Unit 2, if time permits, that is Organization of Nursing Care in Hospital. To discuss these units, we have two experts. One is Ms. Sunita Patni, Senior Faculty from RAK College of Nursing. There is Nirja Sood, which is Lecturer in Nursing in School of Health Sciences. I would request Nirja to begin the session. Before I request Nirja to begin the session, I would request all the regional centers to send us the attendance of the students if there are, and any other queries which the students might have through the phone or fax, whatsoever means they have. Nirja, you know, the main purpose of nursing service administration is to improve the quality care and have excellence in nursing care. And the main focus of this focal point of this nursing service is nursing departments. And what are the objectives of these nursing departments?
Thank you, Ma'am Pitikon. As she has rightly said, the providing quality nursing care is the main objective of the nursing service department or the nursing service administration. As you always set your objectives for your education, or if you want to achieve anything in life, same way nursing service administration also have objective, because these objectives only help us to have good planning, to implement the program, and even to evaluate. Unless our objectives are set widely, or when we make objectives very keenly and we review them, no service can be planned accurately. So let us see what are the objectives of nursing service administration. As already I have told, planning is essential component of administration, and it is based on objectives, because objectives has to be factual, feasible, attainable and measurable. So objectives, there are 5 objectives, that is objectives in relation to patient care, objectives in relation to education, objectives in relation to administration and organization, objectives in relation to research, and objectives in relation to performance appraisal. Let us see one by one what are the objectives in relation to patient care. As already Ma'am Pitikol has also emphasized, the main objective in relation to patient care is to provide quality patient care. Means it should be cost effective, it should be available to the patient, it should be comprehensive services, means it should preventive, promotive, curative, rehabilitative and supportive services should be provided to the patient, and in collaboration with the other professionals and other team members. And to assist the physician in providing medical care, to provide round-the-clock services to all the patient, because as we know, all the nurses are posted for 24 hours in 8-hour shift, or 6 hours in or 12-hour shift at night. So nurses are providing round-the-clock services to the patients. To provide emergency services, that is very important function of the nursing services, to provide emergency services. As we know, we deal with emergency, and any emergency can occur any time in the community or society. To maintain confidentiality, respect and dignity of patient. We should always consider patient as a human being. That's why we should always give respect to the patient, and always have this thing in mind that every nurse has to maintain the dignity of a nurse, of a patient as a human being. And to maintain confidentiality means if patient is giving any information regarding himself or herself, that should be kept confidential, and it should be used only for therapeutic use. Treat patient and family needs with concern, and to monitor and evaluate the care. Next objective is in relation to education, means education in relation to the nursing staff, to provide education and training programs for nurses for professional growth, to provide regular in-service and guidance to all nurses, to conduct orientation program for new nurses and for on the job for long time, to conduct training for operating and handling new equipment in hospital. Why in-service on-job services training is important because many nurses, when they join new organization, every hospital or organization have their own policy, own procedures, and now with the change of technology, every hospital is having new equipment and supplies. They should know how to handle, how to operate. And for the newcomers, why orientation is important? Because they should be oriented not only to the nursing administration, but they should be oriented to all the departments and policies of the hospital so that they work within those limits. And for the on the job for long time, because sometimes when suppose one staff nurse is a ward sister is working since 20 years, she should be oriented to the changes in policies, in procedures, what new equipments are available, she should be also aware of. Next objective is in relation to administration and organization, means to make regular supervision. Supervision should be, people are very afraid of supervision. They always think it is a negative thing, that supervisor will come and find faults. Actually, supervision is always for guiding the staff, for helping them. It is finding the fault is one of the way. Unless we find something wrong is going on, no one can guide or help the person to improve it and even to appreciate if they are doing the good work. To provide supplies and functional equipment, it is very important for the nurse administrator to see they provide the essential equipment and supplies available, and they should be in a functional condition. If they are not functional, they should be replaced or get repaired. To have a proper rotation plan. As we know, nurses are working for 24 hours. The rotation plan or rotation should be made in a way it is, you can say, it is acceptable to all. Sometimes we should not change the rotation very frequently. Yes, in emergency, one should have the scope to change in between. Manuals for reference. Why manuals are important? Because there are certain policy manuals and some hospitals have even the procedure manuals. It is very important to have the available in every ward or every unit. Establishing communication system. It is intercommunication, departmental communication and intra-departmental communication, because we are working for the patient as a whole and providing comprehensive services in cooperation with all the departments and all the professionals. Job responsibilities to all nurses and accountability. All nurses in the hospital should be aware of their job responsibilities and they should be accountable for the care they are giving. The next is collective decision making and progressive environment. Whenever any decision is to be taken in the nursing administration, the nurse administrator should involve all the nurses, and they should provide a progressive environment for all the nurses to involve and to make any decision which is in welfare of the nursing as a whole. Counseling services. Counseling can be for the causes of professional problems or personal problem. Financial resources and procurement. Financial resources means making budget for the nursing service administration, and procurement or whatever equipment supplies are needed for providing good nursing care. Formulation of policies and goals. Nurse administrator should always formulate the goals and policies for the nursing department, and she should be involved at every level. Documentation. This is very, very important aspect. Whatever we do, it should be documented for the purpose. Later on, it can be used for anything. It can be for the administrative use, for the research use, for the education, for the legal documentation. Therefore, the documentation is very, very important. And the next objective is in relation to research. As you see, the research, why it is important? Because nowadays things are changing very fast and knowledge is the basis of any profession. Therefore, every nurse administrator should see, it should establish a system in the nursing department to collect essential information, because when the information is collected, that is the basis that will help you to analyze what is the present situation, why it is important to have changes, and in which area needs research. To contribute in research program, the nurses and the nursing department should also contribute towards carrying out the research and should encourage and support support nursing staff to carry out small studies and the research projects. And the next objective, the last objective is in relation to performance appraisal, means appraising the performance of nurses against the set standards and performance indicators with a view to maintain quality nursing services. Performance is very important, and every nurse should have a performance appraisal filled by the senior person, and it should be communicated. The positive and negative points both should be communicated. Positive because the person get motivated, and negative or the weak points so that there is a scope for improvement, and the concerned staff knows that this part needs more emphasis for me in future. In nutshell, these are the 5 objectives of good nursing service management.
As Ms. Sunita, in order to provide the quality care and be an effective administrator, the nursing service administrator should include some of the essential characteristics for providing the quality care. What are those some of the essential characteristics of the nursing service administration?
Thank you, Mrs. Cole. Of course, as Mrs. Cole has already said, that this is very important to have effective nursing services, and we need to follow certain characteristics to make nursing services more effective and to provide quality nursing care. As Ms. Neerja Sood was saying, that our first objective is to provide quality nursing care to the patient. We need to keep these following characteristics in mind when we are providing quality care to the patient and organizing the nursing service department. First is that keeping in mind the purpose and objectives of nursing service. That means when we are giving nursing care, we need to have objectives. The objective has already been listed above. Now, how do we form these objectives? These objectives have to be framed based on the philosophy of an organization and philosophy of the patient care. The philosophy of patient care says that to provide quality care on preventive, promotive, rehabilitative and the services to the patient. So based on that, we need to set our objectives, and we should have some purpose of giving care, that why I am giving this care to the patient. So we need to keep why and to what extent we have to give this care. That means we need to keep in mind the excellence of nursing care, excellence of service, excellence of practice and excellence of leadership. So in all aspects there we have to keep an objective of excellence of providing care in all aspects. Then plan of organization. Organization is one of the very important aspect of administration. That means there has to be good organization, effective organization of nursing services, of the work organization, of the department organization, or even the the channel of organization and accountability and communication. So all these organizations should be very clear to the person that once the things have been organized, then it will be good management by the organizer. So it is the responsibility of the director of nursing services that she must have a proper organization. Proper organization means effective services. Improper organization means which lead to more confusions, more problems and waste of time. So organization of all aspects is very, very important. Preferably there should be some written organization on in the institution, so that one should be very clear to whom one is accountable to, what are the ways of communication, what are the formal and informal methods of communication. So this all should be clear to the nursing personnel. Policy and administrative manual. Manual is one of the again essential component, because these are the written documents which one can go through, and it communicates that what are the policies and administration of a particular organization. The policies may differ, the administration, even though the principles remain the same, but the way of doing administration may be different. So if a person is coming from one organization to another, she needs to know what are the policies or the rules or regulations to be followed of that hospital. So these written policies are the guide to the nursing staff. So these are the how to give the patient care, how to write the nurse's note, what are the timings for giving antibiotics, that may be different. So that all must be specified in a manual, and that can be circulated to the people. This helps in more uniformity, because people have learned from different places, they may learn different things. So to make more uniform and for job satisfaction and for their satisfaction, it is essential to have the policy and the administrative manual. Nursing practice manual is again an important aspect of maintaining the standards of performance. If we want our organization to have certain quality, certain standards of giving care to the patient, it is essential that each unit or each nursing ward or whatever are the nursing stations must have a manual. The manual should be specific to the specific area. If it is surgical unit, it should be for surgical area. If it is for medical unit, it should be medical. If it is obstetric, it should be obstetric. So those procedures which are to be expected to be practiced with the standards or with the keeping principles in mind, there has to be some manual which they can go through and refer that and maintain the standards and the uniformity in doing the procedure. It ensures the economy of time. It also reduces the confusions, and it allows the more precision of the work. The people will learn more knowledge and gain more skill, and it also helps basis for the evaluation. The nursing service budget. In all the organizations must have a separate budget for nursing service, because this is a profession which need development to gain more knowledge, more skills, and for development. So since the knowledge is ever growing, there is no end that she has finished training and she doesn't need any more enhancement of the knowledge. It's not so. She needs to have staff development, she needs to have in-service education, she needs to have sufficient equipments and other facilities for which she can give quality care. If one organization expects the quality care, it is a responsibility that there should be the separate nursing service budget where they can expand themselves for nurses welfare activities, for staff development, for equipments, etc. Master staff pattern. Master staffing pattern is that how all the staffing of an organization from head to down has been, or they have been organized for their work. That means, keeping in mind, this is the responsibility of the head nurse, that she has to keep an account that how many nurses total are there, how much is the demand, how much she expects to have more. So all this she must keep an account of it, so that she can ask by justifying that how many staffs are required more for giving the quality care, and then what should be their qualification and what should be their placement according to their qualification and according to their experience. So this mass staff patterning is the, I would say, it is the road towards effective management of the nursing services. So that has to be planned. That means staff going for vacations, going for leave, or unexpected leaves, which has to be kept in account, and then they can plan that how many staff should be there in hand. And it is equal distribution is important aspect of master staffing pattern. That
Even
means
the reserve they should keep. That is very important.
that's what when it is on leave, going on leave, or they are going on vacation,
Yes.
or unpredictable circumstances. For that she has to make all accounts that how many total are needed, and then we say like 30% more are needed, those who are going on leave. So keeping those points in mind, she must have the total how many staffs are required and what will be their placement according to experience and according to their qualification. It should not be just everybody is just rotating without without any seeing to the qualification or seeing to the experience. I just want to shift or this side or that side. That should not be there, because we need to see that who can work best in which situation, and their benefit as well as patient's benefit has to be kept in mind. And then coming to the nursing care appraisal plan, I think appraisal has been already talked by Ms. Sood quite effectively, that appraisal help us, that it gives us the feedback that what is effective to be done and what has been done, and if there are some weak points that we can improve, so that we keep our quality in giving care to the patient. So this appraisal is again done by the supervisor, but she must give the feedback to the subordinate to ensure that whatever are the weakness must be improved on, and then supervisor must see that these improvements have been done, and then they give the quality care. Now this appraisal can be done by ward rounds, conferences, anecdotal records, rating scale, checklist. Some suggestive box are very important. Sometimes they give very good suggestions and you need to note down those, and those can be improved on. Then management by objective is a new and effective approach, that by objectives, what are your objectives? Based on that, you need to keep all those administration and management principles in mind. And then peer review is sometimes very important. You get a feedback from your peers. Then nursing service administrative meetings. Now meetings are essential components of good effective nursing services. If a good supervisor, she takes opinion and guidance from other people, I think that is very good, because other people may give very good suggestions on how to improve our own vault or the unit's services. So in that case, she must call each one and take suggestions and discuss the knowledge and how to improve in the quality care of the patient. So all these can be discussed in the meetings. So there should be interactive sessions of the supervisor and the subordinates. Adequate infrastructure facilities, supply and equipment. If an organization expects a good work and good, even if the staff is very qualified, if she doesn't have adequate infrastructure facilities, supply and equipment, she cannot give a quality care. So she must have whatever is minimum requirement, proper resources of man, money and material, or other material management should be of high quality, of good standard, all in functioning condition. And even though facility, I think it depends upon the government and the private institution, it depends upon the budget available, but still I think we as nurses can keep in mind that whatever best we can do within the resources available should be done. Written job description and job specification. Job specification is what is the qualification or what are the requirements to be a staff nurse or a ward sister. Like job specification of a staff nurse is GNM, but I would say job specification for a ward sister is GNM, BSc, or it can be with experience of administrative experience. It's only then she can be a ward administrator. Job description is what are the requirements. What is she expected to do during her work as a staff nurse? I think this is again very important, because sometimes in our nursing we are doing extra work than what is required for nursing. Like simply maintaining reports, it takes 6 hours than 8 hours, and we are only on the bedside for 2 hours. So that way we should know what is our responsibility, or we should not do other work which may be some legal aspects are involved. So that all we need to keep in mind when we are talking about job description and job specification. So for good nursing service, the supervisor must give these description and specification to the subordinates so that they ensure what is their task. Personal record must be there, each person's record, which has recruitment, selection, promotion, transfer, medical record, confidential record, and salary record, retirement record. All this record must be maintained to see that what type of a person's cumulative record says, and how it has to be, how to deal with a person according to their records. Then personal policies are the policies which talk about each unit's rules and regulations to be followed. When you are posted in one area, then what are the policies to be followed by those people who are working in that specific area. Like personal policy for medical ward may be different, for surgical ward may be different, for OT may be different. So these personal policy can be general also, personal policy of an organization. So this these policies tells about the person, that how you can proceed for leave, how you can take your, what should be your salary structure, how will be your promotion, how will be your transfer. So all these policies a person again should know when a person is working in that area. Then health services. Health services should be available for nursing personnel. If a nurse is healthy, then she can take care of sick patient. So it is both the ways. That means proper health services should be available for all the people who are working in the organization as well as for the patient. So there should be pre-employment periodical checkup, regular checkup, education towards health should be there. In-service education is one of the important aspects of administration. There is advancing science, technology, and so much of communication advancement. So each nurse must update her knowledge that how to have effective communication by fax, by hotmail, by email. So all this knowledge should be there, and all those new gadgets which are coming, she must have that knowledge. For that she need to have first she need to have in-service education program. Now orientation program also has been discussed. This is to make better adjustment for a person who is coming new to the place. She will work effectively if she is given orientation for 1 week, for 2 weeks, for 1 month or so. Then skill training must be there. That means all those procedures regularly it should be, we need to practice them. So a proper formal training should be there so that one must not forget about how to maintain their skills, and they can have this training and then again keep their procedures updating. Then leadership and management training, specifically a person who is holding the post of an administrator or a leadership post or a managers must undergo a training. 1 month training, 2 months or 1 year training. She must undergo for effective administration and supervision. On-job training, it is the responsibility of an administrator or the responsibility of the head of the organization to ensure that each of its staff is going for on-job training on regular basis, every year, once in a year, once in 2 years, and as per seniority or so. It is not that one person is going frequently, another one is not given the chance. Then staff development, we discussed many a times that if we want the development, overall development of the staff, we need to have for their welfare, for their in-service education and other aspects. Coordination is an important aspect of this. That means departmental coordination. There should be inter-coordination, intra-nursing coordination, coordination between the supervisor and the subordinator, coordination between the staff and the patient, coordination between the doctor and the nurse on the departments. It is essential. If there is no proper coordination, again there will be so much frustration, there may be conflicts, so that we have to remove by proper coordination. That means a person informing to the other person if a patient is being transferred to her unit, she must be informed so that person is ready to receive the patient. So in that way there will be less of confusions and better organization of the work. Advisory committee is a committee which should be formulated with the senior staff members. These senior staff members, out of their experience and out of their training, they can help better in problem solving and they can have better in decision making. So all policies, all which can be discussed by the advisory committee, the head nurse should be the chairperson of this committee. They can have regular meetings, they can discuss about various aspects of the organization on improvement and to achieve the objectives. So this is all what is required, essential characteristics which every head nurse must keep in mind, that if she wants to have effective running of nursing service department, she must keep these characteristics in mind. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Neeta Patni. Ms. Nija, you have seen that a vast majority of functions and characteristics have to be followed by the nursing service administration and nursing service departments. And in order to deliver these all functions effectively, there is a need that there should be a rational system of nursing system establishment. So what does this nursing system establishment include? What does this involve?
As Professor Pittikol is rightly saying, a nursing department has to play very, very important role, and there should be a rational system of nursing service establishment. A nursing service establishment means different categories of different nursing personnel are prepared for carrying out different functions, because we know there is a shortage of nursing personnel due to various reasons, and it's not possible for any country to have only highly qualified nursing personnel to carry out all the functions at different levels. Therefore, the Department of Nursing as a whole is delegating the authority and appropriate functions to different categories of personnel, that is highly professional person, that is nursing specialized person, decision making, policy making, or care planning for the care is done by the professional nurse, and the basic care can be given by a practical or a technical nurse who is less qualified, and the basic patient care can be given by a less qualified personnel, so that the actual nursing care is given by a professional nurse, so that the quality of patient care is maintained. As we can see on the slide, there is the rational system is important to ensure development of nursing as a whole and delegation of authority from appropriate functions to less trained personnel. That means a person who is planning the care should be a professional nurse and should be responsible for giving the care, but the basic functions can be given to a less trained personnel. Professional nurse is responsible for direction to nursing service and coordination of services. Participation of professional nurse in policy making and planning. Certain posts demand special skills. That's why a professional nurse who is qualified or who is trained for specialized area like ICU, operation theatre, or for the labor room should be posted in those specialized area. Respond to changes and continuing education is important. Therefore, even for having a good rational system in nurses, we should respond to the changes, technical changes, social needs, changing in the health policies, changing in the health programs, changing in all over national health scenario. One should keep in mind what type of nurses we need, what type of nurses to be trained. Otherwise, what will happen if we need less trained person more and we go on opening more college of nursing, and then we will have more qualified professional nurse with PhD or masters in nursing. We will have less general nurses who actually we need them to work in the hospital, because the turnout rate is very high as we see nowadays in our country. And continuing education is also very important aspect, unless, as Mrs. Patni has emphasized in very detail, why continuing education and what all methods can be used for in-service and continuing education is important to update the knowledge and skills of nurses, so that the professional skills are updated to provide quality, cost-effective care. Therefore, we need a rational system so that the nursing service department is very cost effective. It should have a mixture of professional nurses, technical nurses, and a basic nursing care personnel. That's what I can say in brief about a rational system of nursing.
So, in order to have this system and perform all these functions, there should be a specific role of a nurse administrator. Yes. So, Ms. Patni, what is that specific role of nurse administrator?
Thank you, Professor Kaul. Sure, nurse administrator has a big responsibility, because organizing, getting the work done, having good administration, it is all how the nurse administrator is. So I think nurse administrator must have important roles and functions which she needs to keep in mind when she is organizing all nursing services. She needs to plan, organize, direct and supervise the nursing services. It's not that you have just planned and then give the work done by them. She needs to supervise. That means regular visit by her to all the areas must ensure that whatever has been planned and organized and directed, she must see that it has been done. It is day and night. That means as and when she wants, she can go and see that how the work has been done. She needs to coordinate the assignment of the staff. So that means coordinate means one staff nurse, one ward sister, she wants more staff, and the others, she has a lighter. She needs to coordinate that how she can get the work done in a proper manner, in a balanced manner. Then she must delegate the responsibilities. An administrator must not say that I will do all the work. Then she may not be able to do that, and that may not be very effective. In fact, she must delegate some of her responsibility and the authority maybe to DNS, to ANS or to ward sister. Then she must have some standing orders for providing nursing care. Then allocate the duties and responsibilities. So each one must be sure what are their duties, what are their responsibilities, and what type of work is expected by them. And formulate the nursing policies. This is the responsibility of administrator, and all those senior staff who are there, they can sit together and make certain policies, and that policy should be common to all to provide the quality patient care. And also they should carry out in accordance with the rules, whatever rules have been formulated and regulations of the hospital, they have to make the policies accordingly. Then they should delegate the responsibilities to ANS and evaluate the personal performance of the nursing staff. Now, discipline is one of the very essential aspect of good administration, and it is an administrator who needs to keep the discipline. So an administrator must be in discipline so that she can get others in discipline. So if we want the standards of quality care, the discipline must be maintained, and that has to be within the rules and regulations, the policy, so that coming in time or reporting if not coming, how to take the leave, all these policies must be followed to maintain the discipline. If it is something is indiscipline, that must be reported to the medical superintendent or whosoever is the senior, the accounting authority should be informed. The rounds by the administrator in the hospital must be there to ensure that there is harmonious work going on, and if there is anything unscheduled, that must be kept in notice. Then proper supervision of the patient's diet. Then public relation is an important aspect. Public relations give an impression to the whole public. If a person, how we are talking to the public, that carries the impression throughout. So how should we talk to them? How we should have a communication, effective communication with them? It should be cordial relationship with the patient and their family, because we know that they are in need and they are the suffering. So we should have effective communication to them and should be showing concern, empathy to the patients, so that they should carry good impression and have good relation with the public. Office routine should be carried out as usual. Confidential report has been discussed that we must have confidential. Even though we say these are confidential records, but I would say these records should be communicated to the person, not to maintain so much confidentiality that a person does not know what are her weaknesses. So if an administrator wants to improve her subordinate, she must communicate this report to the person so that she can improve, not in a negative manner but in a positive manner. Education, we said in-service education and other educational opportunity and higher education should be encouraged for the staff. We should always be towards welfare of the person. If a person is socially, mentally, physically satisfied, she will be able to give effective care to the patient. So it is important for her welfare. Then conferences must be held. Of course, these are held. Many conferences, seminars, workshops are being held, and that should be encouraged by the administrator to attend, because she will give many times more input to the patient when you encourage her to attend certain conferences, because one learns so much from these conferences. Supervision, effective supervision, as Ms. Sood was saying, that supervision is not something chunky, it is something to guide, to improve on the services. So if we want to improve on the services, both should be healthy. There should be healthy approach of the supervisor as well as of the subordinate. Supervisor must check in a way or guide in a way that this is wrong, you need to improve in this way, but must not say that this is wrong and that's all. She must tell how to improve this if the staff has done something wrong. Records and reports are the important documents. We can say legal document, or these are written proof which tells that what has been done by the nursing staff. If there is no records, there is no report, that means nothing has been done, even if you do a lot. So maintaining records are very, very important in effective nursing services. That can be a list of records which can be maintained as leave record, casualty record, medical record, staff record, patient record, nurses record, stock record. So all these records should be updated. We should not leave them, okay, I will do once after a month or so. That should not be there. It should be updated day to day, time to time, and ever ready for any inquiry or any check which can be there. So this is all which I would say are the
So can we quickly go briefly to the unit second, which is on organization of nursing care in the hospital. Ms. Nirja Sood, can you tell us some objectives about the organizing of the patient care?
Yeah, thank you, ma'am. Patient is a very important human being, because patient comes with certain expectation to the hospital and with little fear also in mind, what will happen to me if I go to hospital, what will be the environment, who all will be there, I will miss my home. So it is very, very important to organize patient care in a very effective way. Let us see what are the objectives of organizing the patient care. To forecast the needs, estimating the material and human resource required, to list the activities to be performed according to the area of work. It can be ward, OPD, operation theatre, ICU, emergency ward, etc. Professional activities to provide total patient care for 24 hours and quality care with the available resources by giving honor and dignity to the patient. These are the main objectives of the patient care, and these should be kept in mind while organizing patient care in any hospital. It can be private, government, or it can be any nursing home or any institution.
Anything you want to add, Ms. Patni?
I think that's okay.
Can we go to the design?
Yeah, design in short we can
Yes.
just see, because design of a patient unit, it is very important for a patient. For a time being, hospital is a temporary home and they also need a good environment, so it should be furnished and equipped as per the need of the patient. It is temporary home for the patient. The size can be unit depend on the size of the ward, the capacity of the head nurse to supervise. Patient unit can be a private unit, private unit, private single room, double room, or a general ward. The shape can be rectangular, cubical, circular, or semicircular. Primary accommodation, it can be single, double, or multiple beds, or it can be dormitory also. Furnishing, with the basic furniture should be there, like bed, mattress, pillow, linen, Macintosh, blanket, locker, bell, stool for the patient's relative to sit, and the other basic necessity things what patient needs every day. The comfort devices like the bed rest, food trolley, so that patient can eat food comfortably when patient is not able to get up from the table or from the bed. So it is very essential to provide a very, very comfortable and conducive environment to the patient, so that they are comfortable and the family also feels comfortable.
Thank you so much, Nija Sood, for a nice presentation. I would also thank Ms. Sunita Patni for
Thank you.
whatever be the approach and whatever be the ways. The main aim is that we have to improve the patient
Yes.
care, and we have to bring
Provide
the
quality
quality
care,
care to the patient, so that patient satisfaction is achieved. Thank you very much.
Thank you.